Because of my interest in approaching the paranormal from a skeptic's angle, a friend of mine sent me an interesting story about something that happened to her for a while back. Here's the story, quoted directly from her email and used with permission. Now, I must say up front that this friend of mine is one of the most intelligent, rational people I know, and not prone to flights of fancy. I was driving to Tim Hortons after dropping my son at school, and I have to pass the lovely Kiefer Inn. I always look up at it as I pass. Today there was a man standing on the right-hand side of the road, dressed in an old brown suit with a funny tie and leaning heavily on a cane. Sour face, kind of chubby, dour. He stared at my car as I passed, so of course I stared back. Then I checked my rearview mirror. Didn't see him. So I craned back to see if he was in my blind spot. Not there. Not anywhere. So on impulse, I pulled into a nearby arena drive, parked, and scanned for where he could have gone, keeping in mind that he needs a cane. I supposed he could have run quickly behind the other house, but why would he? So I drove back up the hill and saw no one. I tried to dismiss it, went to Tim's, got my tea, but it bugged me. So I looked up the mansion. George Kiefer's picture is in there. He's the original owner, was a captain in the War of 1812. Exact same guy. So you'll just have to believe me when I say that this friend of mine is a diehard skeptic, rational to the core, and is much more likely when she reads Skeptophilia to say, "Yeah, go get 'em," than to take the side of the purveyors of the paranormal. So, did my friend see a ghost? As a skeptic, we have to admit that as a possibility. Here's how she explains it. And at this point, it should be mentioned that this friend of mine is A.J. Alto, the amazing horror writer who wrote Cold Company, Touched, and the stupendous Closet Full of Bones, all of which I highly recommend you read. Her novels combine brilliant humor and gut-clutching horror in a way that no one else I know does. So here's what she had to say. This just happened, but keep in mind I've been under a lot of stress lately, so my brain is capable of all sorts of wonkiness. I've been info-cramming ghost stuff for book 3, and I have researched the mansion in question long ago, so my brain is clinging to stuff that I don't even remember that I know, if that makes sense. And Kiefer's face is also on the website, and I know I've scanned that site in the past, so I could have just seen him and filed that away. Oh, and I forgot the best part. I was driving in my driveway after seeing him, and Pearl Jam's Rearview Mirror came on the local station, and I hate that song, but I burst out laughing. It was too perfect. I'm using it all in book 3. I think it's amazing what the human brain can do when your subconscious knows what you want to see. How it can just make connections and go, well, I could show you anything right now, but I'm going to choose George Kiefer out of your memory banks from that one time you might have glanced at his picture in passing, and throw him in the time-appropriate clothing and then make him vanish. And for estimating here, a good 5 minutes, my heart was pounding so hard, my whole worldview went whomp to one side, and I had the answers at my fingertips. I was very disappointed to unravel this riddle. Now, before you say, of course she believes in the supernatural, she's a horror writer, allow me to point out that my books are about the paranormal too. I find often that writers of paranormal fiction are themselves skeptics. A good example is H.P. Lovecraft, who was frequently bombarded by letters from his fans saying that they had gone to Arkham or Dunwich or Innsmouth and seen all sorts of horrors there. And in his genteel way, Lovecraft would respond, "These places are all fictional. I know that, you see, because I made them up." But the possibility remains that A.J. did see something real as she was passing Kiefer Mansion. To be honest, we have to keep that in mind. And others who, like her, have reported running into spirits, remnants of the dead. If we're being honest with ourselves, we have to weigh all the possibilities, including the fact that our mind, with its imprecise perceptual ability and flawed memory systems, might have actually made something up because we were primed to see it, and the possibility that we may have seen something with a real external existence, albeit something that science has yet to prove. Interesting, though, that after her rather alarming experience, AJ is still putting her money on the former. But she did have an interesting postscript to add, to the effect that we skeptics have a vested interest in being right, that our skeptical worldview is as much of a comfort to us as the paranormalist's view is to them. Here's what she said. "If I didn't have a background in science, I'd have absolutely considered this a ghost sighting, especially after Googling Kiefer and seeing the same face staring back at me. My mouth went dry. It was so much fun. But I'm telling you right now, if I see him again, that's it. I will be forced to have some serious thoughts. I'm a closet wanna-believer. I really, really want to think that was George, but my doubts prevent it. And if it ever did happen, I'm not sure I'd handle it well. Maybe we're skeptics because the possibility of ghosts is too scary. Science is a security blankie or teddy bear. Oh, and I'm going to stay at Kiefer Mansion soon in this guy's own bedroom. Then we'll see, won't we? Yes, AJ, that we shall. Make sure to bring your blankie along and your skepticism. Given how much there is in the universe that we still don't fully understand, you're going to need them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Resources are down there. Please subscribe to our channel. Thanks.